happened to your empire you had for the last 100 years? How'd that go? Oh, you want to go to India? Oh, you can't, huh? What about those isles you have? Oh, you don't have those anymore either.
That's actually very true. And I mean, they come across as like, wow, Australia, it's such a lovely land with all these gorgeous girls, and it's sunny, and there's good beer, and so yeah, bugger off.
Yep. And I'm done with you. Get out.
Yeah, exactly. It's called customs for a reason. We don't like yours.
You know, I think that'd be a good idea. I think we should have history lessons.
All right. Well, we should get some segments together.
Yeah,
we need some catchy music as well. Some little.
I'll just totally steal Ken Burns' Civil War thing in the background. I'll go find that somewhere. Get the Ken Burns soundtrack. Just play that. It'll be fun. Get some Jurassic Park theme music in the background. Oh, speaking of which, check this out. I was on my vacation down in Florida.
You saw a dinosaur
for like 3 weeks. And actually, I did see a dinosaur. Holy shit, that's amazing. I did. It was on the side of the road. This dinosaur holding up this giant sign that said, "Come see Dinosaur World."
Oh, really?
I'm not even joking. It was a big T-Rex. It was like the size of a house. That's actually pretty freaky. Okay. I really saw that. That's amazingly freaky. But that's not what I was going to say, but I did. I did see I saw a dinosaur on my trip, ladies and gentlemen. No, what I was going to say, you totally made me. Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right. So coming back, I was very careful about leaving my house. You know, turn all the power off. Well, can't turn the power off. I live in an apartment, but turn all the lights off, shut the stove down, all that good crap. You know, you don't want your house burnt down or kill everybody in your apartment complex because that would be frowned upon. Probably can't get your deposit back either. And so I.
Well, they normally need the room.
Well, yeah. So every single thing that was taking power out of my apartment was completely shut off. Right? So I leave, and I come back home, and I get home, geez, I don't know, I think it was like 5, 6 in the morning on a Friday morning. And so I come rolling in, I'm tired. I just drove for like 12 hours, because we literally came from Key West upwards. It's just like, oh. Yeah. And so there's like 15, 16 notes on my door, just taped to my door. And so I'm like, what the hell is this? The first one was like, "Dear residents." It's like, okay, because our apartment manager, she just, instead of like, putting in our mailbox, which makes sense, she shoves them in the crack of our door so that we'll see them when we come home. And it said, "Dear residents, we're having apartment inspections," which is something they do in apartments to make sure you're not, making the crack house or something in there. Yeah. And so it said, "So make sure your apartments are clean, tidy, blah, blah, blah." And so she never inspects my apartment because I'm a very good resident and I actually know her very well. Okay, so, cool. We're cool. But she said,
"How's that crack lab going?"
It's very well.
Yeah,
thank you.
cool.
Very well. Thank you. I got 13, 14 immigrant workers right now.
Yeah,
so
very
I'm
nice.
doing pretty good. But anyway, so I look at this. Okay, that's what that number is. Second one, "Dear residents, we're having another inspection." I was like, my God, 2 inspections in a few weeks. What the hell's going on? That's weird. And so, that's a blah, blah. Then the third one was, "Dear Mr. Wilson." It's like, oh, hell, what's going on? And so it says, "Dear Mr. Wilson, we have received complaints in the past few days about your music being too loud." It's like, what? And I'm standing outside and I'm hearing this bass going. It's like, what the hell's going on? This makes no sense. And so the next one said, "Please turn down your music or you will be reported to the authorities," or not the authorities, excuse me, but the apartment complex. And so the next note said, "Mr. Wilson, I've noticed that you may be away because of the amount of notes on your door."
Are these all from the same person?
Yeah, they're all from my April, my manager, And she's like, "I noticed that you may be away. Please, I will call you as soon as possible to try and resolve the situation." And I still hear this music going. So I'm like, what the hell is this situation she's talking about? Long story short, it was the final one was like notice of eviction. I was like, what in the hell? And then I was looking at this. It says, "Upon repeated request, you have refused to turn down your music and your audio for your television." Blah blah blah. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. And so then there's a note right below. It says, "Please disregard all the above notes." So why didn't you just take them off my door? Why didn't you? That makes no sense. And so I go inside and just kind of very faintly, apparently the power had went out at one point. When the power goes out, my television comes on. But I don't know, some freak surge or something had went through it and caused my DVD player to kick on. And what was playing was the opening menu for Jurassic Park. And so for 3 weeks straight, my neighbors just kept hearing ba 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 ba, just blaring out of my stereo. And so I'm like, whoa. And so I go and I turn everything off. Luckily, my upstairs neighbor, who's the one that would hear all of this, she is gone most of the time too. I only see her like once a month maybe. I don't know what she does. I think she's a spy, but I'm not sure. But she only shows up once a month, and she usually has like 15 notes on her door also. And so as soon as the sun came up and April was back in her office, like, April, I'm so sorry. And she's like, well, hon, I just went inside and turned your television down, and it said, I hope you don't mind. I was like, please do. Apparently, it had defaulted back to factory settings because the power was out for so long that it cleared all like the cache inside my television that's holding all this power. And so it was just like, the way my TV is, I have it turned up to 10, and it's just the walls shake. And my TV goes up to 92. That's how loud it can go. But I only turn it up to 10, and I can hear my window vibrating. Now, I have it hooked up into my stereo system, which is not the best stereo system in the world.
Yeah.
But, you know, you want some good oomph sometimes, and you're watching Jurassic Park especially, you know? And the stereo had defaulted back to 10 also, which normally I set that up to 20, blah, blah, blah. It's just a good balance that I found. Well, whenever I had left and had defaulted the television, it defaulted the television up to 35. And so I can only imagine, and that's without the stereo, I can only imagine what it sounded like inside that apartment. There was probably an actual dinosaur stomping around in my apartment trying to kill people. And then, you know, amplified by my stereo system. And so apparently my upstairs neighbor had come home and didn't even go in. She, like, came home, listened, like, from her car, and then she had left immediately. And so she had complained to April about it, and then apparently the other neighbors had complained something about it too. And so anyway, everybody there at, you know, the apartment complex, I do apologize for making you listen to John Williams play the Jurassic Park theme so many times.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
So lesson learned: unplug everything. Don't, just because it's off doesn't mean it's off. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well.
Oh, my God. But yeah, that was an interesting trip all around.
More interesting when you come back and you find dinosaurs going around your
apartment. Everybody hates
apartment.
me now. I'm like, what did I do?
I just love the fact that I did all these notes and then disregard all notices.
Yes, and I asked her, I said, why didn't you just take the notes off? She's like, well, I didn't want you to think I was being dishonest. It's like, if you'd taken them off, I wouldn't even known, April. I was just thinking, oh, you turned my TV down. I was like, oh, thank you. But
except for the neighbours, which then come up to you and go, oh, I hate Jurassic Park. It's like, well, that's
cool
great. Why are you telling me?
Next to me, right next door to me, is this old woman that is completely deaf, so that's good. The upstairs neighbor chick is never there. I don't even think the other apartment's even filled, but everybody on the other side I have no idea about, so they probably heard it blaring, just like rumbling through the walls.
Well, and it would be at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was just a continuous loop. So it's like, literally, you start getting used to it after about a week. It's like every 15 minutes a T-Rex is like, scare the crap out of your children. You're like, oh no, run, kids, run.
It would be great if you had one saying, look, we've asked you to have no pets, but...
Yes. But, you know, I've actually gotten that note before. Please keep your cat inside. I don't have a cat. April, I don't have a cat. Okay, hon, thanks. Well, what cat are you talking about? She's like, the gray cat? What gray cat? What are you talking about? She's like, you have a gray cat? No, I don't have a gray cat. Well, keep it inside. It's not my cat! And I had that argument with her several times. She's like, well, you're going to have to pay a pet deposit. It's like, I don't have a cat, April. I don't have it. Only cat I had it for like a week, and I gave it to my dad.
Yeah, what happened to that cat? Actually, I remember.
Let's see. It tried to kill my dad, so my dad chased it with a machete, and I think it lives with my uncle now.
Really?
Yes.
This is around your apartment?
No, this is at my dad's house.
Oh, but so did you have it at your apartment though?
I did.
Okay, well, why did you take it to?
Oh, no. See, I had it at my apartment, and I was playing with it. It was a cool cat. Big, fuzzy ball of fur of death is what it was. It's an evil cat. I loved it. And my dad comes
Very
over.
Terry.
Yeah, it was a great cat. It was so mellow too, man. It would just ride. It's like all mellow until you like got a string, and then it just turned into Tasmanian devil. It would just shred your arm. It was great. And so my dad came over one time. He's like, "Hey, nice cat." I was like, "You like my cat, Dad?" He's like, "Yeah, it's cool." And he's over there playing with it stuff, and it just jumps up and literally from his shoulder down to his elbow just scratches. Just now, my dad is an ex-military guy. Been in the military for 22 years. His peak physical shape of his life, you know. But since he's gotten out of the military, he's, you know, had a few heart attacks and stuff. So but he's still got some upper muscle there. And so it shredded his arm, and he didn't even flinch. He goes, "I like this cat." I said, "Well, Dad, it's Father's Day. You want the cat?" He's like, "You gonna give it to me as a present?" He's like, "Well, you can borrow it." He's like,
"Borrow a cat?"
He's like, "I need to borrow your cat." I was like, "You can borrow my cat, Dad." He's like, "Good." So he took my cat. I never got it back.
That's like borrowing a painting.
Like,
who borrows a cat?
Exactly. I got it back a couple times when he left town. He's like, "Can you watch the cat?" I was like, "It's my cat," you know. But he comes back. He's like, "All right."